guys, it's Sarah, and today we are getting started on a reading vlog that I'm going to do where I am reading books that my friend Brittany from Rescues and Reads picked for me. I will leave Brittany's link down below. Make sure you go check her out today because she also has a reading vlog of books that I picked for her. So a while ago, we posted a video where we picked 3 books from each other's physical TBRs that we wanted the other person to read. And we are going to vlog our experience reading these books and see what we think. And basically, can I trust Brittany to pick my TBRs? Now, based on the books that she picked, because she picked 3 of them, 3 books from my physical TBR that I am incredibly excited to read, some of them by favorite authors, and I just have not read them yet, so it's kind of crazy. So she did a very good job picking them because as soon as she picked them all, I was like, yes. So I was very happy about it. So we are starting today, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. And I have heard such good things about this. I have also heard to go into it kind of with cozy vibes, cozy fantasy. So I'm like, okay. I've heard it's fun, it's funny, a little bit satirical, and we'll see. So I'm not expecting some big, high, epic fantasy, complicated, intense, battle scenes, anything like that. So I'm not going into it expecting that type of thing. But I'm excited to see what it is. And the fact that Brittany loved it so much, it's a big tell. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I will let you know when I'm about halfway through what my thoughts are so far and how it ends up going. Hey guys. Okay, I got to officially the halfway point of this book last night. So I wanted to give you a little update on how it's going because it's going pretty well. I'm tabbing up quite a bit actually in this one. A lot of this is just like funny moments. There's a lot of humor in here as far as the banter between the 2 characters and just the way that they're interacting is really good. And I'm kind of in love with the villain here. So he is a villain. He does bad things, admittedly, happily does bad things. And he is struggling with having feelings for his assistant is what's happening here. And it's so funny because he doesn't want to be having these feelings. He doesn't like these feelings. He doesn't understand what they mean. And because he's a villain, he's evil. He's an evildoer. So I'm really enjoying it. But we're getting into some political stuff now as far as how he became the villain and what that means for the kingdom and how the kingdom views him as well. And I don't know. It's really funny. I'm really enjoying it. It's just like a really good time. Now, there are some stakes in here as well. It's not just like, oh, it's a cute little satire book. No, it's like there's things happening. There's lives in danger. There's like assassination attempts. Like there's things. And then as far as his assistant goes, there's more to her than what we know so far too. And then we're getting little hints of some things with her too. So which is really what's drawing them together. And so I am enjoying that. We're learning more about her past as well, what happened with her family and things. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. It's a really, it's a good time. It's not something I'm flying through. It's taking me a little bit to get through it. But when I do pick it up, I am enjoying what I'm reading. So I'm just, yeah, it's a good time. So again, I'm halfway through. And yeah, it's just delightful so far. So I'm enjoying it. So I will let you know when I do finish it, hoping to finish it before like the next couple days. This would be actually really nice. We'll see. But yeah, so that's the update. Hey guys, I just finished this and I loved it. I tabbed so many things, as you can see. I adored this. It was so much fun. I'm landing on a 4.5. It wasn't quite a 5-star, and I think that was just the pacing for me. The ending was super, I could not put it down. Go, 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 reveal, reveal after reveal, which was great. but it was kind of mostly towards the end. There were a few things, throughout the story, but I kind of wanted a little bit more as far as that goes, but that's okay. I loved the characters. I loved the storyline. I loved the humor and the banter because there was a lot of it in here and it was great. And I just had a really great time. And I definitely want to read the second one. I already have it in my shopping cart on Tertulia. So, yeah, so thank you, Brittany, for pushing me to pick this up finally. And I absolutely adored it. It was great. So 4.5. Very excited to read the sequel. And yeah, so let's move on to the second one. Hey guys. Okay. Pardon my voice. I'm sick right now. I've been sick for a couple days now, and I was like, you know what? Being sick is something that really forces me to take a minute and to relax and to rest, which is definitely what I'm planning on doing for the next couple days. So this is a really good time for me to get started on an audiobook because I recently brought out a puzzle, so I'm going to work on my puzzle and listen to my audiobook. So that's what I'm going to do. So we are going to go ahead and get started on the second book that Brittany picked for me to read, which is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I'm really, really excited to read this one. So another one that has the word villains in the title, which is fun. But I've heard very, very, very good things about this book from a lot of different people. So I'm very excited to read it. It is a dark academia. It involves a lot of Shakespeare. And I've heard that it's excellent on audio, especially the Shakespeare parts, because they do quote direct Shakespeare text and they act out things. They're like a performance troupe. So yeah, I'm excited to see how that's going to go, but I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. And I'm probably going to be sitting around the house for a couple days. So I think I'm going to get through this pretty quickly. But when I get to the halfway point, I'll let you know what my thoughts are along the way. Hey guys. Okay. I am officially at the halfway point of If We Were Villains, and I am loving this book, you guys. It is so well written. These characters are so good. We're following two different timelines, kind of. Okay, the structure of this book is really interesting. So this book is set into parts, or like there's parts and there's chapters, right? However, in this book, because these are Shakespearean scholars and they are performing Shakespeare plays, and kind of most of their lives revolved around, Shakespeare and performing and all that, this book is laid out with acts and scenes. So instead of chapter 1, it's scene 1, or, chapter 5, it's scene 5. And then when it goes into the next part of the book, it's an act instead of a part. So it's really cool the way that it's laid out like that. And each act starts out with a prologue, and the prologue is set in the more present timeline, where one of the characters is getting out of prison because someone in the past died, and they serve time for that. So that's how the book opens, is that someone is getting out of prison, and now they are telling their story. And most of the book is told in the past about, leading up to what happened the night this person died and all that. But the prologue for each starting of the acts is the current timeline. And then it goes into the scenes, which is past. So I really like the structure of it. I think that's really, really cool and unique. And again, the writing is excellent. These characters are really great. They are very complex and kind of trying to figure out who we trust and who we don't. So yeah, I'm just absolutely loving this. The audiobook is fantastic, and I'm just loving it. Like, I'm just sitting here listening to it, and that's all I really want to do. I'm working on a puzzle and listening and enjoying it. And yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm really, really loving it. I'm tabbing a lot of things here. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the way this is going right now. Hey guys. Okay. I finished this book yesterday, and I loved it. I actually have a feeling this will be in my favorites of the year. That's how much I loved it. I tabbed the crap out of this book. It was just so smartly written. I loved the structure of it. I loved the Shakespeare as part of everyday conversation, because it almost made it feel like the characters, it's such a part of their lives that, they incorporate Shakespeare text into everyday conversations. Number one, that's impressive because Shakespeare's really hard to memorize. And number two, there were scenes in here where they were using Shakespeare text as part of their everyday conversations that really made the characters seem like they were almost losing their minds a little bit, which was so fascinating to see. And it really gave them more depth. And I just thought it was brilliant. I loved this. This is making me want to read Romeo and Juliet again, because I love Romeo and Juliet. And I think I read that in high school and I loved it. And Romeo and Juliet with the adaptation with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes is my favorite movie of all time, still to this day. So when I was reading some of the text from that in here, I was thinking of the movie too. And I was like, oh man, I just want to reread that book and maybe watch the movie. I absolutely, absolutely loved this. It was fantastic. I loved the characters. I loved where it went. The last line in this book, yeah. Yes, 5 stars, has become a favorite. I absolutely loved this. It was phenomenal. So, Brittany, I'm so happy that you made me read this because I loved it so much. So book number 2 is done. 1 more to go, but this one, major, major hit.
Hey guys, all right, we are getting started on the final book for this vlog, which is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. I am very, very excited to read this book because Kristen Hanna is one of my favorite authors of all time. I have not read a book by her that I haven't absolutely loved, and I'm positive this will be no exception to that. And I did go ahead and download this on audio from my library because Julia Whelan narrates her books, and anything Julia Whelan narrates, I will listen to. So I will be listening to this one. I'll probably read along at points as well, but I do have some stuff to do around the house, so that's just the perfect time for me to listen to an audiobook. So that's what I'm going to do. And then when I have time, I'll sit down and kind of tandem, read and listen at the same time as well. So we're going to do both, but when I get to the halfway point, I'll let you know what my thoughts are, and we're going to get going on this one.
Hey guys, update. I'm halfway through this book and I'm loving it so much. I'm waiting until I know I have a big chunk of time where I can sit and listen, because once I get started, I don't want to stop. I'm just so sucked into the story. There's so much happening, even though they are in a very remote area. You would think it'd be a little boring. It's not. There's so much happening. So this deals with PTSD, which is very widely known about this book. So that's definitely a big thing. And there's also domestic abuse in here, detailed on the page. So those are things to think about going into this one. But man, I love these characters so much. I love the characters. I love the setting and the atmosphere. And every time I listen, I just want to keep going and not stop. So I have a feeling I'm going to finish this one pretty quickly in the next day or two, for sure, even though I'm halfway through. I just have a feeling I'm going to just kind of plow through the rest of it. But yeah, so going very, very well so far. No surprise, Kristen Hanna is a favorite author of mine. So but I will let you know when I'm done and what my final thoughts are. Hey, I finished this book last night. Tabs. Look at all those tabs. Oh man, I loved this. It was so good. I'm not surprised at all because Kristen Hanna, but just no exception. This was phenomenal. The atmosphere in this book was so well written. I could feel the cold. I could feel the danger of it. Living in a place like this baffles me because I'm like, why would people want to do that? I'm also a very, very person who is motivated by convenience. So that's me. But yeah, it was so interesting to read about this, and the characters were fantastic. All of them were fantastic. And I loved how the story went because I as I was reading it, I didn't really know where it was going, and it went into places I was not expecting at all. And I just really enjoyed reading this story so much. So love, 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 love. Another 5-star for Kristen Hanna for me. Okay, so that is the end of this vlog because this was book number 3. So we have a 5-star. We had another 5-star, and then we had a 4. I gave it 4 on Goodreads for Assistant to the Villain. It was more like a 4.5. Not a full 5, but a very, very high 4, I'll say. And I definitely want to read the sequel now. So can I trust Brittany with my reading? The answer is yes. And also, I think Brittany's just going to be in charge of my reading from now on. I'm just going to let her make all those decisions, and then I don't have to worry about it. So I'm sure she'll be thrilled. Yeah, it was fantastic. So that was a lot of fun. 3 really great reads, like some of my favorites I've read in a while. And I believe If We Were Villains is a new favorite of mine. I loved that book so much. Definitely a favorite, like, dark academia book, for sure. Like, it's way up there. Yeah. Okay, so make sure you go check out Brittany's channel today because she has her reading vlog up of the books that I picked for her to read. So I want you guys to see that. I will leave her channel link down below, so make sure you go and do that. And we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.